in Marcus, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I believe you said that homeschooling was less expensive than public schools.
Yeah.
How so? When they pay school taxes, as Leo claimed, and they also spend, I think you said $600 on school materials. You don't spend that if you're going to public school. You don't pay the taxes.
Everything else, they spend $600 on school materials.
You just said that.
What do you mean?
I mean that in your prior speech, you said that homeschoolers spend this kind of money to teach their kids, textbooks, whatever else they need for learning materials. How is spending a sum that much more?
I said that parents that spend $199 or less score I was just comparing how much you spend for homeschooling and testing scores. I was just comparing those two. I mean, it depends on your family. I mean, you can spend up to you can spend over $1,000 on homeschooling materials and stuff, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to do better. I showed that over $400 difference in spending only resulted in 3 more percent.
Well, I'm questioning your terminology of less expensive when $200 is quite a bit of money, actually.
Well, I think public schooling is paid for by the government.
And who pays the government? We do.
Yeah, by taxes. So
we're paying. So we pay for the public schools, and if you're paying for the public schools, you're also paying for your home schools. How is that less expensive?
I don't actually know how to answer that. But okay, well, can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Do you believe that homeschoolers have just as good an opportunity to go to college as public schoolers?
Actually, no, because I found an article that states that many colleges and businesses will take a public school person over homeschool. I assume because a public school can prove that a child knows the material, while a homeschooling person has only the word of the parent who actually administered and made up the exam.
Actually, homeschoolers don't just have the word of the parent. The parent has to submit all the work and all the testing that the state makes up for the child to complete. They don't make up their own. Parents don't make up the tests for the homeschoolers to take. The state regulates the tests and the courses, and homeschoolers don't have to take standardized tests. So it's not just colleges are taking homeschooling parents' word that they're going to.
Are you aware that only 6 states actually regulate what the parents teach? Only 6 out of the 50?
Pennsylvania is one.
One
of these 6. Okay. Getting back to the question.
Time is up. At this time, we have our summary speech that goes back to the pro, and so the summary speech is a 2-minute rebuttal. Would you like prep time?
Yeah. How much time do I have left? A minute and a half?
So you have a minute left for prep.
All right, 30 seconds,
Okay.
please.
Okay, time is up.
Okay. I would like to return to my earlier point of how facing, I like wording here, trials and tribulations in public school, how you have to face them in public school and you don't have to face them in homeschool. And I also said before that is it the point of school to prepare you for what's going to be out there in life. If a parent just sweeps away all the unpleasantness, all the peer pressure, all the trouble with teachers, all the exposure to drugs and violence, how is the student supposed to deal with that later on when they've never had experience? A parent telling the child to say no is a lot different from experience and actually saying no. To drugs, I'm inferring, get that. And don't you think that making a mistake, going back and fixing it, like revising your papers, makes you more intelligent? I mean, you really can't do that as much in a homeschool because parent has no experience in teaching, so they can't make as many catches for your mistakes as a trained professional can. None of the material here. How much time?
You have 30 seconds.
All right, that's enough.
Okay. At this time, it goes back to Conti. Would you like any prep time before Leo gives the 2-minute summary? Okay, start whenever you want.
Okay. As you said earlier, that kids that were homeschooled displayed more behavioral issues and that they were less mature. But according to a study done by psychotherapist Dr. Larry Shires, he found that homeschool students actually exhibited fewer behavioral problems and that they modeled themselves more after their parents than their peers, which made them more mature. And you also associated homeschooling with abuse, and that parents abused their kids while they were homeschooled. 85% of parent abuse and child fatalities occurs before the age of 6, before schooling even begins. And if a parent were to abuse their child, whether they're homeschooled or if they go to public school, they could just abuse their child when they got home from public school. And also at public school, we said it gives them experience with violence and with peer pressure. If you really want your kid to go to public school where there is violence, exposing someone to violence might help them in the long run, but it might also keep them from surviving in the long run. They could get killed. And you heard on the news at Woodland Hills High School, the student that was shot. It was on the news like a couple of weeks ago. That you don't always hear about that, and it's actually more occurring case than you might think. Homeschooling is a legitimate and extremely effective way to get a true education. And it has no boundaries. You can take whatever classes you want. And statistics show us why students of homeschooling are academically superior to their public school counterpart. And real-life experience from Tony Buffalini shows us how effective, productive, and attractive homeschooling can be.
Okay. At this time, we have Grand Crossfire. So Taylor, I invite you to jump in if you'd like. However, the con team should not pose any questions to Taylor since she's not an expert. So either team can start. You have 3 minutes.